Hey everyone, welcome back. On today's episode, I'm going to show you how to convert your lever style forward and reverse on your EasyGo TXT over to electric. I'm Jeff. Welcome to Kart Crazy. All right, here we go. Some of you might recognize this cart if you're a fan of the channel. This is the cart we named Meltdown and redid, well, a little over a year ago now. Sold it to my neighbor and they've been enjoying it. However, having a few problems with the forward and reverse. We kind of fought with that. Got it dialed in. It worked flawlessly for over a year. And it's just kind of giving him some grief. And I messed with it and adjusted it a few weeks ago. And I think it probably made it worse rather than better. And he texted me the other day and I finally said, you know what, let me look into it and see if we can convert this cart over to electric shift. Surely there's got to be a way. So I did some research and found a company out in Washington State that was able to help me out. So we're going to get rid of all of this nonsense with the rod and the, trying to get it forward and reverse and trying to get it fully engaged was the main thing. Reverse was the biggest problem. Go to reverse and nothing, and fiddle with it, and finally it would go and take off and about put you through the windshield. So let me show you what I came up with. All right, got a hold of a company called EV Drives. Like I said, it's in Washington State. Carl there was real helpful. And this is what we're going to be replacing basically all of that with. So it's a little bit different the way it's wired. I'm not 100% sure that I have these diodes in correctly. I've got to look into that. I do have a wiring diagram here. He also sent me kind of a forward and reverse or FNR housing and an FNR switch. So my plan is we'll get rid of this big conglomerate and we'll get this FNR housing mounted in there. I'll figure out a way to mount this. This is called a reversing contactor, and we're going to get this mounted down in here and reroute things. Like I said, we're going to have to put some wires from the FNR switch. Got my wiring diagram right here. So first thing is identify which one of these wires is what and kind of get them marked. Get our battery turned off, obviously, and then just start plugging everything in, and should be a fairly simple process. So I'll walk you through it. All right, let me give you a little status update. I do have my reversing contactor kind of temporarily, permanently mounted. I just didn't want it flopping around in there, so I just put a bolt in to kind of hold it. If I'm going to leave it there, I definitely need another bracket just because this is so heavy. I know it's pretty solid right now, but I just don't want that one bolt to spin loose and then this thing dangling in there. So I'll have to either move it this way with my own separate bracket or put another bracket in there. But anyway, I labeled all my wires coming back from the motor. I've got everything here. When I say everything, the 3 from the motor. The other one from the motor actually goes to our B positive. Now my M negative or M minus is from this one on my Alltrax controller over to this guy right here. So I'm just about to make a new cable. I got to crimp some ends on there. I've got my diodes in place, and what needs to be done is there's 4 poles on each one, or 4 spade terminals, and one is for forward, one is reverse. So 1 positive for forward, 1 positive for reverse, and I may be saying that backwards, but and then there's a negative terminal. So the diode is plus and minus, and then the negative is actually going to be run back to my battery negative off the controller back here. So off of the 4 spade terminals, sorry, my phone rang, I forgot where I was. There's going to be 2 negatives, and we're going to run negative back to battery negative on the controller. So there's going to be 1 on each side. Now you could do that a couple ways. You could jumper that across and then 1. But I think I'm going to do 2 separate just because I don't have a piggyback spade terminal. I don't think. I could look, but our 2 negatives. And then we're going to pull voltage from our throttle switch into our FNR switch. And when I say FNR, I mean forward and reverse and then we're going to run 2 wires. This is our contactor switch, which is this guy right here. I'm trying to keep this simplified for you as much as I can. And it says brown and pink. I'm probably just going to, well, if I have brown and pink, I'll use it. Otherwise, I'll use whatever wires I have. But I'm basically building my own harness because this cart didn't have that. So it's just 2 wires and then pulling voltage from the foot switch. And literally, that should be it. We should be in business here shortly. All right, let's bring you in and show you what we got done. And I'm going to go over this kind of slow and try to get the camera in there and zoom in and kind of show you what I'm talking about, because this can be really confusing and overwhelming for sure. Let's start with the basics, the 4 main wires from the motor, S1, S2, A1, A2. So S1 right here on the contactor, S2, those are your simplest. And then you've got A2 from the motor right here. So that's 3 of the 4. And your 4th one from the motor is down on your battery positive off of the controller. So that's actually A1. A2 is up here. That's the easiest. Now let's dig into the switch. The brown on my switch represents forward. The purple represents reverse. Okay, so we needed power in the center of that. So I came right off the solenoid. That's going to be key on battery voltage to the forward and reverse switch. Then your brown for the forward comes over here. Hopefully you can see that. There's 4 spade terminals on there. If I can get this one wire out of the way. And your diode goes positive and negative on one side, and then your forward is going to be positive on the other. We'll talk about the negative here in just a second. On the other side, for reverse, you've got your purple, same thing, diode, okay, and then your purple goes to the positive. Now that orange you see piggybacked off of there, that's our orange from the controller right here. So orange, I brought that in on the, just like the diagram showed, on the reverse side. Now on the bottom of that, see the black wire here? So negative, that's going to loop around and come over here to the negative on this side, piggybacked off of that, and you're probably not going to be able to see it, but our battery negative, our main battery negative, is on the bottom of underneath the solenoid here. So piggybacked from the main battery negative, and then you just loop the 2 together on the side of the contactor. I needed battery voltage for my key switch, which I came right off of here. And that actually needs to be fused yet. I haven't done that yet. And then once this is all buttoned up, we'll put the switch in, okay? So let's see if this works. Turn our big batteries on. This one has the double eagles in there. So no smoke or flames yet, so that's good. We'll turn our key switch on. And then we'll simulate, let's see, brown will be forward. Accelerate. Oop, clicking. That's good. There we go. Wheels are spinning forward. Now if we activate or put power to the purple, that should be reverse. It is. Perfect. Now, I should have been like the carpenters who built my house and just ran like 5 feet of extra wire out, because I'm coming out through this existing hole with our housing. I'm going to mount this housing in here, and then that'll hold the F&R switch. But I was trying to be conservative and figure, oh, that's enough. Well, it's not. So now I'm just wasting and got to redo all my, well, probably 2 of the 3 wires. So I have enough to come through there for the F&R switch. Like I said, I need to put a fuse in coming off the main battery voltage for our key switch. But that's the gist of it. Like I said, redo something with this bracket here or make another bracket. But if you want to eliminate that stupid forward and reverse lever and do it this way, talk to Carl over there at EV drives and Washington State electric vehicle drives. He's got a website as well. He got me everything I needed. So yeah, should make the neighbors pretty happy. Okay, I think we got it all buttoned up. Um, got the F&R switch in there. Everything seems to be working as planned. That actually looks pretty good in there. I thought it might be a little bulky, but it's not too bad. It gives a lot of room for the wires. Just kind of cleaned up my wiring a little bit. Put some zip ties and just kind of held everything so it doesn't rub a hole in something. And should be good to go. I think we're okay. I was going to put another bracket on there, but it seems pretty stout, so I think it'll be fine. Well, that's it on this one. Seems to run and work great. Should be a lot easier to use. Got rid of that annoying lever that was really hard to turn and engage. And hope this helped in some way. And we'll see you next time on Kart Crazy.